Okay, drivers, I want to ask you all a couple of questions. I've been watching some truck driver videos, and I saw something that I'm not real familiar with. I haven't really watched any drive cam or such videos in a long time. So I saw something where one of the drivers was talking, and their inside camera, driver-facing camera, would blur them. But, I mean, it would blur the back of the truck, but it had a good picture on their face. And I haven't seen any such a thing, and I was wondering what you thought about it. Does anybody know what brand name that camera is? So I'm curious about it. And does it make you feel any better, especially if you're a team operation, that, you know, that it's blurred back there in the cab, but it does get a good picture on you? So I'm wondering what you think about that. I also watch a lot of truck driver videos, and some of them are a little bit old, and people are saying, as soon as they put a driver-facing camera in my truck, I quit. And I'm curious, how many of you have ever, whether it's recently or before, have ever quit a job because it had the driver-facing camera in it? I'm just wondering about that, and have you learned to live with it now? And I know for the 10 years I was safety director at a 500 truck company, and we had the Lytics drive cam. That's one that I'm most familiar with. And you know, and then I went over to another company in Dallas, and I was safety director for a 200 truck company, and I kind of brought the cameras in there, and they were a little bit different there. And one thing about it, I never had a driver quit. I brought it in a little differently. I got 10 volunteers, and you know, kind of help get the word out that they're not that bad after all. Now, I will say one thing: they were a little bit different then, because back then the only way it's going to capture an event is if you had the hard braking or ran off the road or something, some event like that. And so if you're on your phone or doing something you shouldn't be doing, well, you're going to get caught when somebody whooped out in front of you and slammed on the brakes. So, but nowadays it's different, and I know they have the AI, and I think a lot of it's frustrating too. I know I've dealt more recently with another company that has the ones with artificial intelligence and the drivers, and I perfectly understand. They said they can't go down the road and do anything. You know, they do like this, and something hollers distracted. You know, you have a bottle of water with no cap on it right over here, and you go like that to grab it. It's distracted. You know, put it back, distracted. I know that's got to be annoying, and I hope they're fixing that part by now. I am a big fan of the driver-facing cameras, and you know, I'm not going to go into why, and I really want to know a little bit more how you feel about them, and I really want your honest thoughts, because if you're, and it's not, I know people talk about the invasion of privacy, but I see these videos, and I'll see them on LinkedIn sometimes, and somebody will post them, and the forward-only camera, all they're showing, and somebody is just rear-ending somebody at high speed, or all of a sudden they're running off the road, and I always wonder what is going on inside that cab. I know of another incident very recently to where a driver, it's just for some reason he crossed the interstate and ran off the road on the other side, and nobody seems to know why. And you know, that's you know, a truck was destroyed, and a very highly injured driver, and it's something, you know, he doesn't seem to remember what happened, and it's something to have all that and nobody know why it happened. And I also want to know, are you being coached? You know, the coaching part is very important if it's going to be done right. And I know sometimes dispatchers, I was one place and they didn't want they wanted the dispatchers to be the ones who did the coaching. And, you know, they didn't want to get the drivers upset, so I would watch them, and sometimes they had to do the coaching. They'd get on the phone with the driver, say, oh, hey, listen, by the way, I saw a video where you was tailgating by 1.2 seconds the other day. Really watch your following distance. I appreciate it. Have a good day. They didn't want to upset the driver, but it wasn't doing any good. And the coaching effectiveness for this company was at 0, which means Whenever you coach, they were still doing it. For it to improve, you'd have to coach something and then quit doing it. I started bringing them into my office, and I would talk with them. I would bring them in, and I would show a driver. I said, "Listen, I need to talk to you about following too closely." And he said, "Well, wait a minute. I don't follow too closely. That's not me. You got the wrong guy." So I would show him the video, and I say, "Well, it shows right here you're tailgating 1.1 seconds." And he'd say, "Well, I don't tailgate, but I was having to close in on this guy just before I changed lanes so I could go around him." But he's starting to realize, well, wait a minute. During that short period of time, I guess I am too close. And when we have these tailgating accidents, it's not because you have a driver who's just driving behind somebody, some maniac who is flashing your lights and blowing the horn at the guy in front of you. It's somebody. It happens all the time out here on the highway. Somebody gets over there in front of you. You're trying to leave a good following distance. Somebody jumps over there in front of you, and after a while, what do? You're just so mad. You just sit there and tailgate them only for about 25 seconds while you say some bad words, and then you increase your following distance. Problem is, there once in a while the luck's going to run out. And the guy right there in front of you, he's not going to be the one who hits the brake. Somebody up there a quarter mile ahead is going to hit their brakes. Chain reaction. Now he's got to stop. You rear end him. There's injuries, crash. You rear into somebody, your career's over. So I'm also curious if there are anybody, dispatchers or somebody who does the coaching. So I said earlier, if you coach somebody and they would do it again. When I brought the drivers in, I would show them something. I'd say, okay, now I'm going to put this down that I'm the guy coaching you, and if you do it again, it not only looks bad on you, it's going to look bad on me too, because now my coaching score looks bad. I don't know, but when they realized it wasn't just them, I think they did try harder. But I saw somebody talking about, all he did was, go through a stop sign at 2 miles an hour. And he said he knows it on the video, but nobody ever called him over it. And I'm wondering, the people who are doing the coaching, if a driver rolls through a stop sign at 2 miles an hour, if there's a trooper back there who's in a bad mood and he wants to, he can write you a citation. Most likely they won't. It's really not an unsafe act, though. So I'm wondering, if you coach him and he does it again, that means he's going to have to come to a complete stop every time, or your coaching score is going to get worse. If he goes through at 2 miles an hour and you don't coach him, well then, he may still get a point against him next time he does it, but your coaching score won't go bad. So anyhow, I just kind of wondering what you think about the camera systems. I know I have some videos talking about how I feel about them, my reasons I feel about them, but I want to hear from the drivers. Because I watch some videos. I do watch your videos. The truck drivers that have cameras, I do. That have a YouTube channel. I do watch them. Very interesting. A lot of them, and drivers make very good points. I drove a tractor trailer for more than 20 years myself before I got into safety, so I know what it's like on your side. I never had to deal. I had with I never had to deal with e-logs as a driver. I had the tracking and the communication, but the e-logs hadn't happened yet, or not for any company I was with. And I never had to deal with the cameras. Now, I do have a camera when I travel a lot. I do have a camera on my dash, not only facing forward. I got one that films me too. And it's not going to send some video off to my dispatcher. But it does make me think. I said, well, wait a minute. If I'm starting to do something, this is on film. And if I'm in a crash, it's especially if hopefully I'm doing the right thing. It's going to come out in my favor that I'm not on the phone, and it will be seen by my attorney and probably the other people's attorneys. So anyhow, let me know what you think. Leave something in the comments. I know a lot of my videos are boring. Some of them talk about some stuff that may be directed towards a small fleet owner. You really ought to watch them too. It's very informative, sometimes a little dry, but watch them. Leave the like button, or hit the don't like button. I don't care. Leave a comment about the questions I'm asking you. Subscribe to the channel. Danny Drummond, tips and tales from a trucking safety director. See you next time.